Hey guys, Sliders here with a review of Batman Arkham Origins, released in 2013 for the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii U and PC, developed by WB Games Montreal and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. Arkham Origins takes place a number of years before the events of Arkham Asylum, and revisits the early years of Batman as a crime-fighting vigilante, only 2 years into the job. It's Christmas Eve and 7 assassins have come to Gotham City to collect a bounty placed on Batman's head by the criminal overlord Black Mask. Other rogues include Penguin and Batman's most infamous antagonist, the Joker, whose motives are seemingly shrouded in mystery. Yes, it's Christmas with the Joker. A large part of the game revolves around Batman and Joker's first encounter and how their complex relationship begins to develop that ultimately defines both characters. The story, while nothing too original, is pretty satisfying even if it leaves some continuity errors when compared to the last two Arkham games, and repeats a couple of plot points along the way. In terms of gameplay, Arkham Origins is barely any different to Arkham City, and retains many of the mechanics established in that title. As Batman, you patrol Gotham, taking down criminals that roam the city, while trying to tackle each of the assassins that are trying to collect on you. Speaking of Gotham, it's much larger than it was in Arkham City, with Batman being able to go to New Gotham as well as Old Gotham, the future Arkham City. Each part of the city is connected by quite a long bridge which can take several minutes to travel. Luckily, there is a fast travel system in place that allows you to use a Batwing to travel to various drop-off points around the city. The free flow combat system is as smooth as ever, allowing you to move between enemy to enemy at breakneck speeds, while being able to use gadgets on the fly, although countering can be a little tricky at times when you're in the midst of a combo and a thug comes charging into view, disrupting your progress. Very little has changed here, but that's not a bad thing. A combat rating system has been introduced, which ranks you accordingly on your combat performance, making you always want to achieve that elusive S rank, which can be pretty hard to come by. Completing missions, solving crimes and winning fights rewards you with experience points that can be used to purchase new upgrades and abilities to aid you in your crime-fighting quest. Predator gameplay remains the same, as you stalk from the shadows in order to clear a room so that you can move on to the next area. It's always fun hanging a guard from a ledge while quietly picking off your prey. It makes you feel like you are Batman. One of the new innovations in Arkham Origins is the improvements to the detective vision. When investigating a crime, you can reconstruct the crime that can lead you to new clues so you can solve it. It's a pretty cool mechanic that allows you to methodically analyze the case, giving you a glimpse into the mind of the Dark Knight and shows you why Batman is the world's greatest detective. The Batcave is also accessible and serves as a hub for Batman, where you can upgrade your equipment and access challenge maps. Speaking of challenge maps, there's the usual array of combat and predator missions, where you can select modifiers, and can even play as Deathstroke, one of the assassins after the Bat. There is also the inclusion of an online multiplayer mode, where you can either play as Joker's or Bane's gang, or as Batman and Robin. Playing as either of the two gangs turns the game into a third-person shooter, fighting out for turf supremacy, while controlling the dynamic duo brings a more stealthy, methodical approach, trying to pick off each team while trying not to get caught in the crossfire. The multiplayer has its appeal and you can have a lot of fun with it. My only concern is that sometimes the mode feels a little uneven, with too much chaos on the screen at the same time, but it is worth checking out. Visually, Arkham Origins looks very similar to Arkham City, with well-detailed character models and a large open world to explore. My only problem with Gotham is that other than the street thugs, there seems to be no one in it. As a result, the city feels soulless, with Batman patrolling an empty city. If this is meant to be Christmas Eve, then the streets ought to be packed with people trying to get their last bit of shopping done, but apparently not, as there's no one here. The game is what you would expect from any Arkham game. Roger Craig Smith steps into the role of the Caped Crusader, delivering a gruff and sometimes merciless take on the character, and does a good job of conveying a younger, less refined Batman. As with any voice change, it is a little jarring not to hear Batman veteran Kevin Conroy in the role that he defined, as he is more than capable of portraying a younger Batman. However, Smith does an adequate job. Perhaps the more daunting task is that of Troy Baker, who throws himself into the role of the Joker. Mark Hamill's take on the Clown Prince of Crime is just as iconic as Conroy's, and Baker shows what he's made of, delivering a near-perfect imitation of Hamill's performance, cementing the complete lunacy of the character. Christopher Drake provides the music score for Arkham Origins, and I have to say it's my favourite soundtrack of the three Arkham games. Using the Christmas theme, Drake places sleigh bells into the track against the orchestral backdrop, with a couple of hints to The Dark Knight Rises. Dark and gothic, the score captures the spirit of the sinister Christmas, of all not as it seems. Now onto some things I didn't like. You may have heard me make several comparisons to Arkham City, and that's because this game reuses a lot, and I mean a lot of mechanics and game assets from Arkham City, so much so that half of the city map is lifted from that game. Rocksteady, the developer of the first two Arkham games, completely redefined what Batman games should be, and new developers, WB Games Montreal, did not want to mess with the formula whatsoever. While this makes sense, it does make the game feel like a placeholder for the inevitable next Arkham game, and while fun, it does feel wanting at times. There is also a number of frame rate drops that occur when using fast travel that makes the game near unplayable at times, along with a number of other glitches and bugs. Clearly, not enough quality assurance testing went on this title, which does point the finger at lazy development. However, with all that being said, Batman Arkham Origins is a very satisfying Batman game, even if it is by the numbers. If you're a fan of the series, then you've probably already bought the game. Even with its issues, it's still worth a recommendation, revisiting the early years of The Dark Knight. Well, that's the end of this review. Thanks so much for watching. For updates on what I'm doing next, be sure to check out my Facebook and Twitter. So until next time, peace out guys.